Faith in God. That is something that is incredibly difficult, seemingly, for this generation. The kids these days, I actually have high hopes for them. Many people are quick to judge them, say that they're all lazy and all they do is play video games and watch TikTok. But I think many of them are seeing that is their future, that they have no future if that is what they're, gonna do all day long. So many of them are, resorting to like fitness and, they're learning things on their own. They're saying, I don't want to go to college. I'm gonna do me, and they're doing their best to, just like let go of this world, of the worldly things that society wants them to desire. And they're saying, okay, well, if society's telling me that this is what I should want, I should question that. And I should, want something else. This is good. This is promising. This is why I have high hopes. But I think they still have an issue with faith. I mean, haven't we always had an issue with faith? I'm not sure. I'm only 26 years old. In my lifetime, yeah. Faith has been seemingly like rare, except among old people. But I do think it must be, for this generation, a lot more difficult to understand faith than in previous generations. Why is that? Because we have a lot of information. And I think also the faith that we've been bestowed from the previous generations is not good faith. It's not in good faith. We're realizing how corrupt it is. Jesus. I can't fit in my freaking pants. My leg's been growing. I guess I've been hitting leg day for the past 2 months. Holy crap. What the hell do I wear to the gym? I took off these pants because they were way too freaking tight. I'm wearing these. I thought that those had just shrunk. What people have been taught is not the truth. And I think if people only saw the truth of faith and what it is, then they would believe in it. But what is the truth, and how do we find it? Well, the easy answer. Just gotta look hard enough. You'll find it. I think the problem is most people don't look at all. They automatically dismiss God. But that's even, and they say it's intelligent to do so. It's intelligent to automatically dismiss God. But that's kind of the most unintelligent thing I've ever heard. An atheist perspective is unintelligent. They say, well, we don't believe in a thing that's unseen. Okay. That things that you cannot see, but yet we believe in things that you cannot see. It's like, how did the universe come to be? They say, well, we don't know. You don't know, huh? You can't theorize? And they say, yeah, okay, well, we can theorize, yeah. It came from a point of singularity, right? There was the Big Bang. A bunch of energy in one place expanded. But it says in the Bible. God was all good and all powerful. It's one thing. And since God was one thing, this was not good. Good, all good, it was not good. Wait, what? 1 became 3. I digress. We're getting into some crazy territory. Point is, the way I like to think about it is, God split, and the piece of God that was in the 1 became a piece in the 2, and in the 3, and the 4, and became everything. And so God is in everything. And that only makes sense. That alone only makes sense. There's a reason why many great philosophers say that you cannot be a philosopher unless you're a pantheist. What is pantheism? It's the belief in the one and the all things, which is really just hardcore monotheism if you're going to talk to a Jew. They're like, there's softcore monotheism and there's hardcore monotheism. Softcore monotheism is you imagine that God is some bearded guy in a throne on top of the world, and that that's where God is, and he has nothing to do with this world. Or he can command at will what he wants to do, but most of the time he sits around on his throne. And then hardcore monotheism is, well, God is everywhere at all points in time. He's literally involved in every single atom and molecule. That's where his seed is. His seed is in everything. And so it acts as an ecosystem. Everything works together. But at the same time, there's also a point of singularity, right? God has a personality. That one's harder to prove. Unless you have your own experiences. And how can people have their own experiences? I guess you got to start somewhere. Where's a good place to start? Tzedakah, charity. It's probably not a bad place. That's where I would think to start. And maybe that isn't the best place to start. But I'm here, and that's what came to my mind, and you're listening to me, and so that's what I'm going to say. If there's a better place to start, let it be known. Charity. It's famously been told that thou shalt not tempt the Lord. Thou shalt not test the Lord. Okay. Except in one area, God makes it very clear that you can test him. Give charity. God will give back. You can test him on this. So, give charity. See what happens. Give charity and see God. Get a taste. Well, you might chalk that up to, okay, that's the universe. That's the ecosystem working in my favor. Okay, it's coming back to me. So that is true. Okay, so if I give, then I get. And if I take, then it takes. That's what I understand from that. But what about God? What about the personality that is God? How do I get an understanding of that? Best way for that would be to read the Bible. You want to understand God's personality? Read the Bible. The way I like to think of him is he's like a badass biker, Like, he's so strong and so tough that he's gentle and kind and loving. But he ain't afraid to throw down at any point in time. Don't mess with that, Because he is not afraid to throw down. And he rules mostly by intimidation, it seems. You see him, you don't want to mess with that guy. You talk to him and he's like, oh, he's a great guy. He's so great that you might think that you can get away with something. And then you do something in front of him just to see it. And he's like, nope, I fucked up. You fucked up. Now you're going to pay the price. That's the way I like to think of him. So the problem with this generation is no matter how intelligent they are, how much they progress, they'll never know. They will never know because what holds knowing to be into being? What holds it together? What holds together knowing? God. The beginning of wisdom is the fear of God. You want wisdom? You have to fear God. If you can know so much, but if you don't have fear of God, you will stumble. They say that you must have more fear of God than the knowledge you have. If you have more knowledge than fear of God, you're in trouble. If you have more fear of God than knowledge, then you can expect to keep that knowledge forever. More knowledge than fear of God, the knowledge will fall. More fear of God than knowledge, you can expect to keep that. So if people have no fear of God and have a lot of knowledge in their young days, then they'll be 40, 50, and they'll lose it all, supposedly, I believe that. I do believe that. It's the idea that you go into business. I've said this a couple of times. You go into business with God because you have nothing to lose. You say, life's been terrible to me. I'm going to put faith in God. I'm going to see how it goes. And your business is a success. And you attribute all of your success to God. Many years go by and people, attribute you to your own success. And they say how great you are. And, you start getting a big head and an ego. And you stop saying that God was the reason for your success. And you start saying that you are the reason for your success. And all of a sudden, the business stops. The business slows down to a crawl because God was the reason for your success. And you forsake him by saying that you are your own God. Right? So too can God pull the rug out from under you at any given point in time in any kind of situation. And that's terrifying to think of. Because when we're not talking about business, what are we talking about? Where else could God pull out the rug out from under us? We're in good health because we take our vitamins. Because we are so intelligent to create our own meal plan, to do this and do that, and to cultivate herbs. And how will God teach us that that is not the case? That we are not, that we are our own undoing in that case. Terrifying. Fear of God. Right? It's very important. We will be torn down.